This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is Friday, the 22nd of November, 2024. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is news to 6 a.m. on News Power Digital. The Police Complaints Authority has stepped in and is now investigating the circumstances leading to the police failing to follow repeated instructions from the courts to prosecute and provide evidence in two high-profile extortion matters. These failures resulted in court cases collapsing and 12 police officers walking free. The authority, led by Director David West, issued a press release yesterday on November 21st, announcing it was stepping in to investigate the collapse of the cases. On November 18th, of 7 police officers accused of extortion. The case was dismissed by Master of the High Court, Sarah De Silva, after police failed to comply with court instructions to prosecute the matter on time. The 7 were also accused of corruptly appropriating money, over $100,000, which was seized as evidence during a police exercise at several business places in Sangre Grande. And the authority is also investigating the collapse on November 20th of a case in which 5 police officers were charged with soliciting and receiving a bribe of $30,000 from an Aruca couple to forego the laying of charges following the execution of a search warrant at the couple's home where drugs and camouflage uniforms were allegedly found. Master De Silva also discharged his case after noting the police prosecutors were given additional time to prepare their cases against the 5, but in the end had failed to bring forward any witnesses or evidence so the trial could start. Former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith claims there were proper guidelines in place regarding police officers and their duties relating to court appearances, and backup measures were in place should officers not be able to attend court matters. He identified 3 of the measures which were used to ensure police absenteeism at the courts is addressed. Griffith made the disclosure yesterday during an interview on Power 102's Hard Talk program yesterday, Thursday. He said contingency plans were also in place should there be challenges in the system. A stockyard owner was kidnapped in Chaguanas yesterday afternoon, minutes after he arrived to deliver a load of sand to a customer. Police said Sashi Anand Rampasad was taken by 2 masked armed men around 2 p.m., who bundled him into a car at Pear Street, Lendo Village Enterprise. Rampasad reportedly arrived at the area around 1:45 p.m. and reversed his Fuso cart truck into the open yard of one of the residents and got out, leaving the keys in the ignition and cell phone in the seat of the truck idle. He was taken by the 2 men. Chaguanas East MP Vandana Mohit issued a statement hours after the kidnapping, calling for action on crime. The TTPS is investigating the kidnapping. UE St. Augustine campus faces a complete shutdown today as the West Indies group of university teachers, WIGUT, intensifies its protest action. The union is urging the university's management and Minister of Finance Colin Imber to finalize negotiations swiftly. In a show of frustration, workers confronted campus principal, Professor Rosemary Bell-Antoine, at her office, demanding action to address their concerns and resolve ongoing issues. The campus executive management team of UE St. Augustine acknowledges the November protest action by members of WIGUT. UE is urging all parties to move the process forward swiftly and productively, ensuring a resolution that benefits not only staff, but students who depend on the stability and excellence of UE's experience. If it does not reach a resolution, grades may be withheld by the staff. Police seized over $1.8 million worth of cannabis and arrested 1 suspect during an intelligence-led operation in Cunupia between 3 and 6 p.m. on Wednesday, 20th November, 2024. Officers acting on received information conducted surveillance on a supermarket located at Cereza Circle in Cunupia. The officers entered the establishment where they met a 37-year-old man and proceeded to search the premises. While searching the rear of the storeroom, they found a transparent crocus bag containing multiple bags of cannabis marijuana. The 33 packets seized had a combined weight of 17 kilograms with an estimated street value of $1.8 million. The man was arrested and taken to the Arima police station for processing, along with illegal narcotics. In news of the region, India is proposing to assist Barbados and other countries in the region plagued with sargassum weed with technology to turn the nuisance into manure. Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi made a proposal at the 2nd CARICOM India Summit to solidify bilateral cooperations. He said India will be continuing efforts to help CARICOM member states with challenges they are facing through cooperation in energy, infrastructure, agriculture, food security, health, pharmaceuticals, technology, and innovation. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness has outlined a comprehensive strategy aimed at transitioning Jamaica toward robust and inclusive economic growth. The announcement made at a landmark address titled The Next Chapter, Pivot to Inclusive Growth, which was delivered at the office of the Prime Minister this week before an audience of key business stakeholders and civil society stakeholders. And finally, hours after his first pick to run the nation's top law enforcement agency dropped out, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump named Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi as his new choice to run the Justice Department. Trump made the announcement in a post on social media Thursday evening, the same day that former Rep. Matt Gaetz, whom the president had first elected, had stated for the role last week, withdrew himself from consideration. Trump stated, "For too long, the partisan Department of Justice, DOJ, has been weaponized against me and other Republicans." He said, "Not anymore," Trump said in a post to his Truth social media platform. And that is news to 6 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We'll have major news coming up at 7 a.m. Good Friday morning to you.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Ye morning neighbors. That's right. It is Friday. That's right. Friday, the 22nd day of November. Thank you so much for joining us. 33 days to Christmas, and it's 25 degrees at Piarco International Airport, 26 at Crown Point, and the Met Office updated their weather forecast for the day quite early this morning. Thank you so much, Albert Alexander. Mostly fair, except for some partly cloudy intervals with isolated light to moderate showers in a few areas. Low chance, 20% of isolated thunderstorms may develop in some areas. All right, so that's it for your weather and traffic. Nothing to tell you about congestion. Just by Chase Village, you've got the usual. All right. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning, Paul. Morning, Steve. Morning, Richard. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over.
All right. Let's say happy birthday going out to Rennie Devines. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, happy
Just got
birthday,
a message
Rennie.
from Rennie. So happy birthday to you, Rennie. Hope all is well. Have a great day. Cake and ice cream on the Power Breakfast Show.
Oh, okay. Rennie Devine's daughter is Rennie. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. I'm not reading the message. Rennie, the daughter is Rennie. Okay. Good. Got it.
Yeah. There you go. Quite smart. So what's going on?
Well, every single muscle in my body hurting me.
Yeah, that comes with age. Mm-hmm.
We lost last night at the Queen's Park Oval, but we have 2 games on Monday, so the league ends Monday. It finishes next week Wednesday. Before everybody catches their flight to get out by Thursday, because I know I only see the design of that league was designed for people to leave and go to Thanksgiving somewhere. Because we normally end on a Friday, but it's ending on next week Wednesday. So good morning, guys, from Seaboard Marine, and of course from my friends from Champlain Auto, Gary, Aj, and them. They also
morning, Gary.
Yeah. Man.
Of course, next Thursday, the 28th, is the Thanksgiving in the U.S. So,
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, courts have a big sale going on right now.
Which courts?
All
courts?
Yeah. Big sale today.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Let me see who else I have a birthday for today. Today is November 22nd. It's at the end of Scorpio, and they go into that other horoscope. Is that what happening today? All right. Today is Diane Lewis's birthday, Michelle Thompson, Rihanna Ward, Sonia Mohan Singh. They are all celebrating birthdays today. All right. And over the weekend, I know it's one of my nephews, my niece's Sunday over the weekend. All right. So, as I said, we had a nice evening at the Queen's Park over last evening. We lost, but it was a nice, enjoyable evening. And when you get into the ages we get into, look, everybody at the field limping. I watch her and I say, well, what the hell I doing on this field? Huh? Everybody have some kind of muscle, something. I certainly had to go and get a massage, try to get
have an ambulance back up outside.
Well, boy, among the ambulances be passing on Tragedy Road anyway, we safe. But we have a doctor with us, eh? As a matter of fact, no other than the head of EMPAT, Dr. Neil Singh. So he's be giving advice. Look, that man is a riot, yes? When you listen to Neil talk, you entertain the whole evening, Morning, Dr. Singh. He really is a riot. Good guy, really nice guy.
I see all your commissioner wake up.
Has she? Because they're
what happened?
What did she say?
She see a statement yesterday, finally.
Oh, a statement.
She said after reviewing a preliminary report and dismissal of corruption charges against 7 police officers, well, it's more than 7, ma'am.
It's 7 and 5.
And again, and amidst public outcry, she, through a statement through the head of the corporate communications unit, Joanna, of course, she didn't talk herself, is a release.
That's what I'm saying. I know I read in what Joanna
said she requested additional reports on the matter and will meet with the Director of Public Prosecution, Roger Gaspard, on the issue. She said, I've requested additional reports on recent developments and will provide a response. And these are the deadly, these are the words where you're not going into a room to never come out again, in due course.
Oh, goodness.
What do you hear in due course? They go in that room,
No, but
so
why
would they have put out a release if the public didn't have an uproar about it?
No, but why is there a need to meet with the DPP again about this?
Of course, she needs to meet with the DPP about this, Wendell.
But why? Explain why.
Because, according to what both Minister Hines and Minister Scotland told us yesterday, that one of the main issues here is that because the cases involved officers, the prosecutors would have come from the office more than likely of the Director of Public Prosecution, but the evidence would come from police officers.
Right.
And so that is the crux of the matter, resulting in the cases being dismissed with evidence not being proffered in a timely manner.
Right. So I hear you on that. So I hear you on that, Paul, but I'm saying the DPP did their part. It's the police that failing.
And she has to have a meeting with the office of the DPP, come on, as part of the ongoing investigations at her level.
No, she had to meet with the police officers and them who lapse in.
That is obvious, Wendell. That's an obvious thing. That's obvious. That's clear.
No, I'm not dying.
In terms of stakeholders in this matter, she needs to meet with the DPP and the Chief Justice.
No, I'm not agreeing with you.
Well,
and I'm not agreeing with that. That's all right. I'm not agreeing with you, and I'm not agreeing with that. Because the Chief Justice, first of all, had nothing to do with this. The DPP now, to me, they did their part. She needs to deal with the police officers that have been errant under her watch. That's who she needs to deal with. Okay?
Where she started in the haystack.
Where she started? You must know who are the investigators.
You say police officers who are errant. You know whatever stake a haystack that is? Errant police officers.
Well, go and find them and deal with them. Go and find them and deal with them. Go and find them and deal with them. And we speaking with David West later on this morning.
Yeah, in 15
minutes.
minutes.
Know the PCA getting involved in that. This is clearly a management issue of the TTPS. So I ain't spreading this blame nowhere else. Nowhere else. I'm very sorry. This blame not going anywhere else.
Wendell,
yes,
Steve, sir. Others. Nothing is going to come out of this.
Well, I said that yesterday, but again, I don't want. You see, I don't want to feel, and that's why I asked yesterday. I asked Minister Hines that particular question. where does this blame start? And that's when he explained that, okay, in most of these, in matters involving the police officers, once they appear in court, the DPP office will send the prosecutor, okay? But they are largely dependent on the police investigators to move forward. I specifically asked that to get that answer. So this is a TTPS matter. And I did at the end of the day say nothing going to happen. I said that. Okay? But I still don't want the DPP and definitely not the Chief Justice to be dragged into this mess. Deal with your officers. The police the police commissioner, that is, got specific powers under the Manning government when Trevor Paul was commissioner of police. I don't forget these things, you know. Trevor Paul was the commissioner of police when those specific powers was given to a police commissioner to deal with the errant officers. Only Philbert James, when he came into office, actually fired someone. Okay? And that was the fellow who was rude to Mr. Manning for something.
Properly investigate this matter, where, according to two high-profile government ministers in the line ministry, it seems the police did not provide the evidence. If you are investigating something in a thorough manner regarding the exchange of information and the cooperation between the office of the DPP and the police service, one must speak to the DPP at that level.
Paul, I hear you. I'm not.
But I'm saying with all that in place, Wendell, she's just, in my opinion, let me start with that. Good morning, Lincoln. In my opinion, it's just all this is public relations, you know.
Yeah.
The press release is public relations because of public outcry. The meeting with the DPP is public relations. They should have met long before the case collapsed.
Yeah. So, and I'm understanding what Joanne is attempting to do this morning, you know.
Who, Joanne?
Sorry, Miss Archie. You have to forgive me, right? I'm
Miss
familiar
Archie is just following instructions from the Commissioner of Police to placate public outcry.
Right. So
I'm attempting to do nothing but she work.
Right. So I'm saying I have no problem with what she's attempting to do.
Because we kept saying, and I'm sure it's gotten back to them through two line ministers, that silence is not an option.
No, it's not. It's not.
And she still didn't have the, I can't use that word. You can't use that word, Paul. You can't use that word either.
Perspicacity.
We could use that word. To actually come out and say it herself.
Yes.
I don't know. I thought there was a record for, anyway, you can't say that either, Paul. I didn't think it was easy to beat Stephen Williams, you know. Let me put it that way.
True, eh?
I didn't think it was easy to beat Stephen Williams. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah. No, but at least he had a 6-year run, you know.
Stephen Williams, track record intact now. That's what I will say.
Nah, Miss Christopher, man. Come now, man. I mean, I had high hopes. If you remember me, I had high hopes of a woman becoming commissioner of police. I said, after Gary make a mess of that, I say, okay, a woman probably need to go there and fix this, right? But my goodness. But
the PSC says she's doing a good job. So. Hey, oh God, my sorrel reach. See you in 5 minutes. I have sorrel being delivered.
Where? You in studio?
Home.
Oh, 6 for 25, 6 pounds for 25, 5 pounds for 25.
See you in a bit.
Yeah, what to do? When the juice made, you could call me. That's when I like sorrel. When the juice.
Yeah.
You had to go buy Zena for the juice.
Nah, but let me tell you, the best sorrel I've ever had was from Gemma.
Gem, I'm not going to say that.
How is my gem going?
I'm not going to say that. Gemma made a great
sorrel. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Gemma made a great sorrel. Morning, Gemma.
Morning, Gem.
Yeah, I've owed Gemma a visit, but Lord, every time now I leave home, I'm hustling.
No, we should go and visit her for Christmas.
Yeah, I have
You
no
should do
problem with
that.
that.
You'll make a lime and go up.
Mm.
You like my background this morning?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Oh, let me go this way.
What is that? Oh, the banana.
That's $6.2 million behind me there, you know. Somebody actually bought, and they call that art, $6.2 million.
It's worldwide, yes.
And comes with instructions. A guy from Asia bought it. A young guy. He's into Bitcoin. And it comes
But that
with
must be the
instructions.
first time I ever. That probably the first time I ever hear anybody actually buy something from Bitcoin earnings. And look what he buy, a banana.
That he came with instructions and when to change the banana and that kind of stuff.
People full of rubbish, yes. David, where's Gemma is in Samaru Village up in Dabadi there. Samaru Village.
David Ware sent me a message this morning. If anyone is willing, I don't have a number. David, excuse me. Someone dumped a black Cocker Spaniel dog. So if anybody is willing to adopt, David, I need a number. But think about it, folks. Let's say good morning, good night to a few people. I haven't done it for the week. Maria Celia, good morning. Wendy and James. Got Celia out in Baltimore. Oliver Manwaran, Boy Bedesi out in DB that never brought my doubles. No sweet. Shadow Benny, Kuchla, roast pepper, medium. Just putting it out there. I like my pepper. John Ketu. Of course, David Wares and Cheryl. Morning, Mrs. Wares. Ewart Rajpal, Michael Gradison, Marcia Rock, Subhash Mangal, Jude Khan. It's a fabulous name. Michael Robinson out in Yokohama, Japan. Of course, we did Rennie Devines, and happy birthday to you, Rennie, once again. Sherwin Kerr, Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida. You know, in West Palm Beach yesterday morning, there were 3 motorcycle policemen. And one had problems with his bike and, couldn't start. And so they radioed for help for jumper cables and so on. And this is where the move over law gets involved. And, if you see a police car in the U.S. on the right-hand side, you don't drive in the lane closest to the shoulder. You have to pull over. You have to go to the other lane. It's the law.
In Florida, certainly.
In Florida. It is the law. But apparently this lady didn't see, and she was behind a truck, and she went to overtake the truck and went on the right and overcorrected, and she slammed into the 3 motorbike officers. Sadly, 2 were killed, and 1 is in stable condition out in Palm Beach County. So that move over law it's so strict.
Yeah, it is very strict. Trust me.
Very strict.
Because I drive a lot in Florida, and once you see somebody on the shoulder, get out of that lane.
Get out of that lane.
Yeah.
Get out of that lane. So, Rena Bodo Jennings, good morning. Michael Oliver, Mr. Stewin. Okay. John Cato, Michael Gradison. I'm on Wendell's side with this. Okay. We are going to chat with David West coming up in 5 minutes. Michael Mapp, Wendy and James, Lester Craigwell, Chancellor 7 of Mile. Okay. DLAR, which is Alan Reese. CJ out in New York. Good morning.
Morning, CJ. Morning, Rena.
Who's this? Is this Val? Morning, Val. Morning, Captain Ron. Good morning to David Nelson, GNC Auto Security, Sankofa. Good morning. Thank you all so much for listening to us and watching us on YouTube, Facebook, on our app.
Like you paying the person in quarters or what? Are you taking so long?
Pennies. And of course, those watching us on television and all networks, Amplia, Digital, Flow. We're on M&E TV, so you can look it up one time. All right.
They haven't as yet found Ken Taylor in New York. That was such. I've been.
They haven't. I just said that before we get into Ken Taylor. A pensioner was kidnapped.
Yeah, I saw that story.
They found his vehicle on the shoulder on the highway. It's alleged that 3 Spanish-speaking people kidnapped him, beat him, and why?
But he was found dead in the vehicle.
He was found dead in the vehicle, the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
Why? But yes, to come back, he's somewhere didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, Kent walk. They said that he had taken the bus to go go to the mall and visit a friend, and he said he was going to visit a friend, and he has not been seen since. He's been missing since November 18th. He's 85 years old, and Kent didn't show any signs of dementia at all. Prior to leaving Trinidad and Tobago. So it really has the family in a tailspin, and they have to try to track his phone and so on, because it's just mind-boggling, that someone could just disappear, just like that.
And of course, another individual was kidnapped yesterday in central Trinidad, Sastry Anand Rampersad, who is the owner of a quarry. And it's around 1 p.m. when 2 cars, black-colored Toyota Axio and silver-colored Nissan Versa, pulled up, and 2 gunmen alighted and bundled him up and shoved him in the car.
There was a story, gentlemen, that we never dealt with that surrounds all this extortion and alleged kidnapping and so on that's happening in the central area, that Darius Figueroa raised in terms of why he thinks that those things are happening and so prevalent in that area. He got a lot of flack for the statement, you know what I mean? But he raised the issue of maybe the connections that some of these businessmen would have had to the underworld, why these things are happening. He spoke about that, but we've never discussed it because it never got traction in the news. But I heard it being discussed elsewhere. The
Guardian, I think it is 2 Sundays ago, had a whole expose on the links between some of these so-called legitimate businesses and the underworld, and why some of the extortions and other crimes are happening.
Right. Okay. I missed that one.
Yeah.
But I know Darius Figueroa raised it.
And let's not pretend, as we've said over and over and over, not only central businessmen.
Yeah.
Businessmen all over the country, businessmen in Port of Spain, and they so-called, some businessmen, and they so-called legitimate businesses. I don't want to say all,
I hear you, Lord.
And they so-called legitimate businesses and white-collar crime. So when they're talking about fix the crime.
Fix yourself. That's what it should do.
Fix yourself.
Yeah. All right.
When we ask the chamber heads about that, well, we have no evidence to support that, but we tell our members to be clean. and 5 people walking in this store every month, but they're depositing $5 million. Some stores.
Yes,
stores. A couple stores.
Yeah.
Correct myself before I get in trouble this morning.
No, you can't get in trouble for saying that.
Yeah?
But you don't call no names?
I'll pretend to store name some store. Because they're not going to be in trouble. They can say, he called my store name. He called my store name.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's so.
My mother is getting in trouble fast.
And
I just got a tour day when I went to collect my sorrel.
You paid him person in quarters or?
We do online transfers.
For sorrel?
The person has a farm.
What the hell I hear, man?
Sorrel, eggs, pawpaw, okra, chickens.
So when we get any sorrel on the show?
Morning, Richard.
Sorrel this weekend?
Good morning to our listeners and viewers wherever you are.
Yeah. Morning, Rich. And let's say good morning going out to David West.
So what's happening with the sorrel? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, morning, David. How you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you? How was Wendell and Richard?
David, we're missing you at the Oval. Why you not playing cricket?
Nah, I'm busy, boy. You can't see I'm busy.
But I know. No, of course I can see you're busy. You have your hands full.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. All right. So, so I didn't realize we were speaking to David this early. All right. So
Yeah. But David, the issue of the two very high profile discharging of cases with police officers. I know the PS. How is the PCA? We had spoken to, I can't remember to whom now. We spoke to so many people this week. But anyway,
Minister Hines in Scotland and Lala Senior Counsel.
Right. So I think maybe Larry Lala felt that the PCA had a role to play in it, and so we wanted to clarify what the PCA would be doing with regard to those issues, if you're doing anything at all in terms of any investigation into what happened.
Yes. Well, I issued a press release yesterday indicating that we will investigate both matters, and there are some other matters too involving police officers that didn't show up for court, involving some civilians also in the magistrate's court, I believe. So what happens is that, generally speaking, the magistrate or the master would have issued directions to the police when the accused now comes before them to get certain things done. All right. And under the new rules of court, they're given timelines to get, for example, witness statements, disclosure, forensic evidence, whatever done. Now, I don't want to talk about this case particularly because it's still before we're still doing investigations. But generally speaking, what has to happen is that the police officers, if it is involving other police officers, they will then get all the information together, put the file together properly, and pass that file to the DPP to prosecute. Because when I used to prosecute, I know that we as prosecutors used to prosecute police officers. They did not allow police prosecutors to prosecute police officers because, of course, the obvious lack of transparency in that process. So what happened is that the officers did not follow the rules set out by the master, and therefore what we will do is we look at determine whether or not there is a neglect of duty or discreditable conduct. So what we are doing now is we're getting all the information together, and we're going to have to write to the Commissioner of Police for a report. Now, I've already spoken to senior officers about the matter, and I'm hoping to get a copy of that report by early next week, so we can continue our own independent investigation.
But David, even if your investigation yields a result that indicates that there was some misbehavior of some sort, what action can you take? Because to me, there are only two routes available to you. One, the Commissioner of Police, who has the right to discipline and can look at the investigation report as a guide in making some sort of determination, or referring it to the Director of Public Prosecutions for another prosecution if it meets the standard of a criminal offense. I'm just saying, if, for example, there's misbehavior in public office by those officers, then we will do the referral to the DPP, and then he will then lay, if he sees fit, will then lay a charge against those officers. Or also too, depending on what disciplinary action we if we find any disciplinary action, we will then refer that to the Commissioner of Police to say, listen, there's been neglect of duty by Officer X for not following through on the court orders, and we are referring this matter for a tribunal.
Good morning, David. Two things. With the greatest of respect, your role after the PCA's role after doing its investigation, as it has done in the past, is to recommend if charges should be proffered, not so?
That is correct.
You have done so in the past, not so?
That is correct.
Have any charges been proffered?
Well, I can't say exactly how many charges have been proffered because remember, what we can do, Paul, and remember in 2020 and 2021, the legislation was amended where we can then follow up with after 3 months of a recommendation, we can follow up with the DPP or COP to ask them what is the status of the matter. Okay. Now, of course, if nothing is done, what we can then do is write the stakeholders and let them know that we have made this recommendation last year and nothing was done, and there's been no feedback from the DPP or COP, as the case may be, and and then put it. So let those higher authorities know about that they are not doing their job.
And that's as far as it can go legally from your remit.
Yes, that's all. That's as far as
and with the gauges of respect, that is going to happen. And if they don't feel to act on it, nothing will happen, unfortunately, as seemingly has been the track record. The other issue is, David, is that since the AJIPA framework came into play, now the masters of the court and this particular aspect of AJIPA came into play to try to deal with the issue of cases taking long and evidence taking long and police taking long and whoever taking long. Not so? Yes. So there are timelines involved, not so?
Right, correct.
Now, my sinister conspiracy theory mind comes into play here, and you don't have to comment on this. If I want a case to collapse, for whatever reason, won't I just not provide the evidence in a timely manner?
But they see, that's the whole issue, Paul. There are consequences, and everybody has a part to play. So, for example, when we do our referrals, all right, to the COP, for example, it is expected that the COP will look at our evidence, our brief in a timely manner.
Good luck.
And make a decision. Whether or not. No, because this is what has to happen, Paul. We have to understand that everybody has a role to play in the criminal justice system, and it's not one body or one arm.
And I agree with you, but I'm saying that the track record doesn't seem to support that is happening.
Okay, but Paul, there are consequences. So let's say, for example, I'm just saying, for example, if it is that the commissioner of police does not do a tribunal in time and nothing has happened to the officer, that the commissioner of police should be called upon by the Police Service Commission and or in that Minister of National Security as to say, when a report comes up at the end of the year, why haven't you done X, Y, and Z? And if it is that there's not a satisfactory answer, then they should be terminated. And then we move on.
There's a lot of should and could there.
I understand that, Paul, but we have to understand that when we put people in offices, we expect them to perform, efficiently and effectively, and that is what has to happen. There must be accountability in the system.
David, in large measure, your recommendations would go to whom? The Commissioner of Police for prosecution or the DPP's office? Which one?
No. If it's a disciplinary offense under Section 152 of the Police Service Regulations, it goes to the Commissioner of Police. Right. If it's a criminal matter, it goes to the DPP. Sometimes we find a criminal matter and a civil matter in an investigation, and it goes to both of them.
So, on a percentage, how many would have gone to either either the commissioner or to the DPP?
No, by far the majority has gone to the Commissioner of Police.
And they've not acted on any thus far?
No, they have. They have acted on some of our recommendations, our referrals, because our investigators have to give evidence in the matter, and our IT people to put in videotapes, etc. So they have been having tribunals happening. Because I know personally that they have been happening.
Okay.
All right. But the ultimate fix to all of this, obviously, is to increase not increase, but give the PCA prosecutorial powers that aligns with some level of consequence when investigations yield a particular result, that you can handle it yourself. But it seems as if the political elite are not really interested in aligning the PCA along that route.
Well, no, I won't go too far to say that, because you see, remember the act as it was framed by it was the late Patrick Manning and late Basil Pandey who debated the PCA Act back in 2006, I believe it was the first act. That was for a civilian independent body. Now there are different types of, I guess, oversight bodies. If you want a prosecutorial oversight body, well, then you have to change the whole dynamic of the body. If you want a hybrid, then you need to change it. So a discussion has to be had in terms of what do you want your oversight body to do? Do you want them to have the full powers, the full coercive powers to be able to charge, arrest, and prosecute? Or do you want them to be able to just prosecute? Do you want them to be able to charge? So you have to understand, what do you want them to do? Because as I was saying before, our act works because we get the complainants coming in and we get the referrals going to the DPP and COP. It is the other stakeholders who need to take up the baton and do what they're supposed to be doing. All right? So I mean, you need to look and see what exactly you want.
Well, in terms of the context of an overview of the entire process, is it working efficiently? Because you are cog in the wheel, I get that, and there are other bodies that have their own actions to take with regard to resolving a particular issue. But if so what? And I think Paul would have raised it earlier. What is the percentile that is successful in following this route and action being taken, and what is the percentile that's not? And if the percentile that's not is higher, then it means the entire process needs to be revisited, because you'd just be spinning top in mud from an administrative point of view.
I understand the point. I understand your point of view. But you need to look at it from this point of view, in that if we didn't exist, there wouldn't be anybody to complain to and get something to be done to put before the domain of the COP and the Commissioner and the DPP.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think it's better that you do exist than don't. But I suppose ultimately everything is an evolution. And how do we make the process more and more effective in terms of that accountability and transparency? I think ultimately is the discussion as a country that we have to have.
Well, these are. I think with these matters coming up and I guess the police involved shootings and stuff like that. I have to have a discussion with the authorities to decide. Listen, what do you want from an oversight body? What exactly? And because we need to have that discussion now, because as we can see, the police service, they need to be held accountable for actions when it is not, when things have gone wrong.
Yeah. But I know we only had 15 minutes with you this morning, David. So I just want to thank you for joining us on the Power Breakfast Show this morning and taking the time to speak with us on this issue.
Not a problem, anytime.
All right. Thank you so much.
David,
all the best to you.
David, one of the players on my team is limping, and he said it was due to an encounter with you during football.
I wouldn't doubt it.
All right. Take care.
All right. Take care. All the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes. Good morning to Darren Millen. Oh, this fella just play football fierce,
Are we taking some calls from listeners?
Yeah, we have a 2-minute window that we can take a couple of calls in.
Yeah, man. Well, that's about 10.
No, I like to leave our callers.
But we do like Lincoln and Miss Val, please, and Mr. Patrick. Let's hear from you.
Oh,
and Zina,
you're getting just as snarky as the person on your right, according to my screen.
I've learned so much in such a short space of time.
Oh, the person on your left.
The person on your left now. The person below you.
Watch how we jumping all over the place. Good morning, Rhoda Bart. Rhoda, stop and hail me Friday, man. Rhoda have two big dogs in the back. I said, Rhoda, what is your story? Rhoda driving around with two big dogs in her back seat, you know. Morning, Rhoda. She looks so good. It was good engaging her for a while on the main road last Friday.
All right, Lincoln, I get up yet. Let's get into the newspapers, Rich.
Okay, that was a fast 2 minutes, boy.
I'm seeing also a story in the newspapers.
That's your 2 minutes, Steve.
Yeah.
It's really 20 seconds.
He's calling 2 minutes, but it's already
It's not 20 seconds. Yes, you know what people that say, you know what people that confuse hours with, you know what people that confuse hours with that 2 minutes?
There's so much I could say.
And let me start the Daily Express for this morning. Of course, today is Monday, November.
Today is Monday, Richard. You're really tired.
Sorry.
You know what day of the week it is.
Today is Monday.
Today is Friday, November 22nd, 2024. And you know, and the headline is Black Friday. Eh?
Is it?
And Monday comes to mind. Black Friday at UE. March for salaries. Complete shutdown at St. Augustine campus planned today. So I guess there are no classes or anything today. So Black Friday at UE. March for salaries. Complete shutdown at St. Augustine campus planned today. That's the main headline, and there's a picture of some level of protest taking place with regard to that by the West Indian group of university teachers, WIGAT. Cases against 12 cops collapse. PCA orders probe. So of course we just spoke to the PCA director, David West, but that's one of the subheadlines on the Daily Express this morning. On the back page, Privy Council dismisses Montiel tax appeal.
Montai. Jeez.
But sorry, not a PNM member. Privy Council dismisses.
Wow. Where did you pay them to my name?
Oh boy.
Privy Council dismisses Montai tax appeal. I'm not so sure the substance of this. Did you all discuss this morning?
No.
Okay. So the Privy Council has dismissed the multi-million-dollar income tax assessment appeal of former CL Financial executive Andre Montai. The appeal involved the interpretation of the provisions of the Income Tax Act and raised the question over whether the pay-as-you-earn provisions were, at the time, the mandatory and exclusive means by which the Board of Inland Revenue could recover unpaid income tax on an employer's income from emoluments and interest. Judgment in the case was yesterday delivered by Lords Hodge, Briggs, Salius, and Richards, and Lady Rose. So that's a pre-see, but that's the first couple of paragraphs. Boost for agriculture, TNT and Guyana sign an MOU. And there's a picture with the Foreign Affairs and CARICOM Affairs, Minister Amory Brown with the Guyana President, Dr. Irfan Ali. And the sports, West Indies, after strong finish start test series today against Bangladesh. Red Force swallowing tough pill after Super 50 exit. And CARICOM heads discuss cricket conference proposals. Moving along to the Newsday. Concerns mount over collapsed cop cases. The headline, PCA steps in. That's the front page headline on the Newsday this morning. Abducted pensioner found dead. That's a subheadline. And the main picture is that of the crime scene. Police processed the scene where the body of pensioner Winston Thomas was found in his car on the Solomon Mujai Highway in Golaconda on Thursday, hours after he was beaten and abducted from his penal home. Horrific story. Yeah. Another murder in Belmont. Chagona's businessman kidnapped. All of these are subheadlines on the front page. West Indies named 4 seamers for first Bangladesh test, and HDC Port of Spain lift girls' crown, but heartbreak for QRT again. Fatima ruled the North. All of that is in the sports pages of the Newsday. And the Trinidad, oh my goodness, I don't have the Guardian. I get 2 Express. I don't know why they give me 2 Expresses in the Guardian. Do I have to check his stuff? So I'll have to go to the Guardian online. Just give me a couple of seconds while I do that.
I can help you with that.
Go ahead.
Erla must act. That's the headline on the front of today's Guardian online. PCA to probe collapse of cases against 12 officers, but says ball in Commissioner of Police's court. That's the main story. And the picture is that of UE workers as they reject their 2% hike. I don't know why everybody just feel they must mention Rowley. The placard is millions for Rowley, 2% for we. And there's a strike taking place at UE, if you didn't know it. Businessman kidnapped in Enterprise, that's also on the front pages. And of course, on an inside story, a very interesting story, is that investigations by the prisons have revealed that Hannah Matura's mom was not raped while in custody. That's one of the stories on the inside, all right? And of course, Montai loses $20 million tax appeal at Privy Council. All right, so those are some of the stories trending in today's Guardian online.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Let's get the results of our morning poll where we asked you yesterday. Do you think justice has been served in the cases involving the TTPS officers recently in the courts? All right, do you think justice has been served? 92% said no.
What's Paul's poll today?
I have 2 potential polls.
All right.
1, should the PCA be given powers to prosecute errant officers? Based on Richard's question. 2, should officers in collapse cases be suspended pending the outcome of investigations?
Well, there's a third option. Do you expect the Commissioner of Police to act on the recommendations of the PCA? That's another possible third pool. Because the ball really is in the Commissioner's court, as one of the headlines said. You understand?
Well, the PCA has just started its investigation, so that question is not material just yet.
Yeah, they would have made any recommendation. Yeah.
They wouldn't have made any
You mean in
recommendation
terms of these? You mean in terms of these particular cases?
Yeah.
All right.
So,
boss, you decide?
No, you all decide. I type, you all decide.
Boss.
I like the first one.
Yeah, let's do the first one. And so far as we just spoke to David about it.
All right. Should the PCA be given powers to prosecute errand officers? Yes or no? All right. 222-8255. North Americans toll-free 866-525-1099. Captain Ron, behave. And of course on WhatsApp at 3181021. All right. Should the PCA be given powers to prosecute errant officers? Yes or no? Let's see. Wayne Bennett says yes. Marcia Rock says yes. Michael Mapp, 100% yes. Boswell John, yes. Roger Seawing, yes. Dre out in Rio Claro, yes. Vincent in Birmingham, UK says no. Jaron Joseph says yes. Let's see. Good morning to Kim Gavaya out in Chigagornis. Alistair Hart says yes. Captain Ron says yes. Chris J says yes. John Rennie Devines, yes. Cheryl Henry, yes. Michael Oliver, yes. Michael Gradison, a big yes. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. Yes.
All right, Zizi. Thank you so much.
Hopefully taking calls after.
Yes, dear, we are.
All right, I have to talk to Mia more.
All right.
Okay.
CJ New
Enough
York.
sorrow for the
Yes.
people. Make sure and get
Cheryl
it nice.
Henry says yes. Carl Jack, my answer to the poll is yes. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. Before I vote, give me the permission to wish my son Barry Gomes of New Jersey a happy birthday today. It is coming from his father, his sister, and Jeffrey. My answer is no.
All right. Thank you, Grandy. Julia S. Batiste says yes. Michael Robinson says yes. Eve out in Chicagona says yes. Eve, I came by your house last week Friday for lunch. You didn't open the gate. Cascade St. Anne's says yes.
Have a little fatigue for Mr. Gomes.
Okay.
Have a little fatigue for Mr. Gomes.
Should the
Mr.
PCE be given powers to prosecute errant officers?
Yeah. Mr. Gomes, you used to celebrate Valentine's Day and Carnival time in a big way. All your children born November. Nice one.
Kim Gavaya out in Chicagona says yes. Let's see. Beauty Culture says, good morning, guys. TGIF. Thank you, Beauty Culture. Our morning poll, should the PCA be given powers to prosecute errant officers? Yes or no? All right, you have 3 minutes to vote again. Time remaining before the big bad wolf walks in. Today's the 22nd.
Merle's Kitchen.
Out in Oshawa. Okay, says yes. Merle, what is your menu? Trini food?
Where's Oshawa? Is that Japan?
No, it's east of how do you call that? East of Scarborough. It's east or west? I can't remember. I think it's east.
Scarborough is in Canada, Scarborough?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the name of that roti shop on McCowan? I can't remember it now. Let's see. Slick Money Grip says yes. Goth Celia says yes. Okay. Let's see. 222-8255. North Americans toll free 866-525-1099 via WhatsApp at 318-1021 on Facebook, on YouTube. You can WhatsApp us while you watch us on M&E TV. Should the PCA be given powers to prosecute errant officers? Yes or no? That's all I want to hear from you. Wayne Joseph in Ontario, Canada says yes. Thank you, Wayne. Yeah. Thank you, Wayne. Let's see. Any more votes? Let's check WhatsApp. Okay. We have a couple of seconds again to kick your vote in. Let's go there, not there. Wayne Joseph. All right. Let's get into our 7 o'clock major news, shall we? Right. Okay. Of course, Avies and Hill Bob is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
PCA to launch investigation into corruption, extortion cases involving 12 cops. Police commissioner says police commissioner is said to be reviewing a preliminary report on the dismissal of corruption charges against 7 police officers. Former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith says guidelines were in place to address police absenteeism. Businessman kidnapped minutes after he arrives to make delivery to customer. And UE concerned about November protest action by members of the West Indies group of university teachers at St. Augustine campus. Details in a moment. The This is News to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Sintil-Bab. Good morning. The Police Complaints Authority has stepped in and is investigating the circumstances leading to police failing to follow repeated instructions from the courts to prosecute two high-profile extortion matters. These failures resulted in court cases collapsing and 12 policemen walking free. The authority, led by David West, issued a press release on Thursday announcing it was stepping in to investigate the collapse of the case on November 18th of 7 police officers accused of extortion. This case was dismissed by Master of the High Court Sarah De Silva after police failed to comply with court instructions to prosecute the matter on time. The 7 were also accused of corruptly appropriating money, over $100,000, which was seized as evidence during a police exercise at several business places in Sangre Grande. The authority is also investigating the collapse on November 20th of a case in which 5 police officers were charged with soliciting and receiving a bribe of $30,000 from an Aruca couple to forego the laying of charges following the execution of a search warrant at the couple's home where drugs and camouflage uniforms were allegedly found. Master De Silva also discharged this case after noting that the police prosecutors were given additional time to prepare their case against the 5, but in the end had failed to bring forward any witnesses so the trial could start. The PCA, in its press release, noted that there were no prosecution witnesses and no evidence produced by the police to the court in the matter of the 5 police officers accused of demanding and getting a bribe. The PCA also suggested that successive police commissioners had ignored its advice on how to deal with the failures of police prosecutors. The PCA said it had submitted information on the 2 collapse cases to its investigative and legal units for immediate action. Speaking on the Power Breakfast Show this morning, Director of the PCA, David West, explained what action could be taken following their investigation.
If, for example, there's misbehavior in public office by those officers, then we will do the referral to the DPP, and then he will then lay, if he sees fit, will then lay a charge against those officers. Or also, too, depending on what disciplinary action we if we find any disciplinary action, we will then refer that to the Commissioner of Police to say, listen, there's been neglect of duty by Officer X for not following through on the court orders, and we are referring this matter for a tribunal.
Commissioner of Police Earl Hayward Christopher is reviewing a preliminary report on the dismissal of corruption charges against 7 police officers, vowing swift action as public outcry mounts over what many have described as a systemic failure in law enforcement and the justice system. Speaking through Head of Corporate Communications, Joanne Archie, Hayward Christopher confirmed on Wednesday night that she has requested additional reports on the matter and will meet with Director of Public Prosecutions Roger Gaspard SC to discuss the issue. The Commissioner of Police said via the release that she's requested additional reports on the recent development and will provide a response in due course. Former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith claims there were proper guidelines in place regarding police officers and their duties relating to court appearances, and backup measures were in place should officers not be able to attend court matters. He identified 3 of the measures which were used to ensure police absenteeism is addressed. Griffith made the disclosure during an interview held on the Hard Talk program on Thursday. He made the comments in light of the recent collapse of a high-profile case in court. A stockyard owner was kidnapped in Chaguanas yesterday afternoon, minutes after he arrived to deliver a load of stand for a customer. Police said Sashi Anand Rampasad was taken by 2 masked men around 2 p.m. who bundled him into a car at Pierce Street, Lendor Village Enterprise. Rampasad reportedly arrived in the area around 1:45 p.m. and reversed his Fuso Canter truck into the open yard of one of the residents and got out, leaving the keys in the ignition and his cell phone on the seat as the truck idled. Chaguanas East MP Vandana Mohit issued a statement 2 hours after the kidnapping, calling for action on crime. The TTPS is investigating the kidnapping. You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. The University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus faces a complete shutdown today as the West Indies group of university teachers intensifies its protest. The union is urging the university's management and Minister of Finance, Colm Imbert, to finalize negotiations swiftly. In a show of frustration, workers confronted campus principal Professor Rosemary Bell Antwine at her office, demanding action to address their concerns and resolve the ongoing issues. The campus executive management team of the UE St. Augustine acknowledges the November protest action by members of the West Indies group of university teachers at St. Augustine campus. UE is urging all parties to move this process forward productively and swiftly, ensuring a resolution that benefits not only staff but also the students who depend on the stability and excellence of the UE experience. Well, finally, here is weather news for the period today until midnight. Trinidad and Tobago mostly fair except for some partly cloudy intervals with isolated light to moderate showers in a few areas. There's the low chance isolated thunderstorms could develop in these areas. Nighttime mostly fair. In the vicinity of heavy showers or thunderstorms, expect gusty winds, localized ponding, and street or flash flooding. You can expect a temperature high of 33 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 32 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, the temperature at Piarco is 26 degrees Celsius. It is 27 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. Recapping your headlines to 7 o'clock, PCA to launch investigation into corruption and extortion cases involving 12 cops. Police commissioner reviewing a preliminary report on the dismissal of corruption charges against 7 police officers. Former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith says guidelines were in place to address police absenteeism in courts. Businessman kidnapped minutes after he arrived to make delivery to customer. And UE concerned about November protest action by members of the West Indies group of university teachers at St. Augustine campus. I'm Avril Sindhilbab. That was news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. There is more news in detail coming your way at 12 noon and an update at 8 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Avril, for our major news. You can join her again come 8 o'clock this morning for our news brief. And then alongside Sir Charles for major news at noon. Okay?
We could just add to that breaking news out of London, UK. The US Embassy in London has been shut down over bomb threats, over security threats. A friend of mine just also sent me a message that he was evacuated from Gatwick over bomb threats. So we're following that story.
Wow.
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 Okay. And of course, I don't know if it came in our news about the story about the Matt Gates as we did join his team. Yes. Well, he was under so much pressure. I don't know how he would have survived.
He's just 16 years old.
17.
Leave her alone. They say.
Listen, so the Trump administration off a flying start. Imagine Attorney General you propose this man for. What the hell is wrong with Donald Trump?
He's just 16 years old.
People mad, yes?
Leave her alone, they say.
Oh, gosh.
All right. So our morning poll question, should the PC be given powers to prosecute errant officers? That was our poll. Let's see if we have any more votes here. Anthony out in Toronto. You have to go to Mills Kitchen in Oshawa, Anthony. Of course, Anthony says yes to the poll.
And didn't he resign his Florida AG to be eligible for that post?
Yes.
I think he did. Lester Craigwell says yes. All right, let's get the results of our morning poll.
Well, the poll this morning, should the PCA be given powers to prosecute errant officers? We had 32 people voting on the poll in the allotted time. Of the 32 people, 2 people said no. So you can work it out. 30 people said yes. So the yeas have it this morning. Of course, you can continue to vote on this poll throughout the day and through all programming, and we'll give you the final results on Monday morning because today is Friday. So the weekend has begun, people. Put a smile on your face wherever you are. The weekend is here.
Johnson Noel just said yes.
She's just
17 years old. There you go. We have some callers coming through, so let's grab them. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to the Paul family. Good morning to the
Morning.
breakfast group. My answer is no.
All right.
George from New York. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Oops. Right. There you go.
So what position Trump given Ben Carson and the other black people who are advocating for him?
None as yet. He ain't named one black person yet, huh?
Yes,
Paul,
yes, yes.
phone.
But not even Candace Owens, and she's highly irritating. She isn't low-level irritating. She's a high level of irritation.
Remember, there is something. Very often they realize if you go in that sea, you'll be more noticed because the other side of the crowd is the black people.
Mm-hmm.
So you go where the black people are a little scarce. You get more notice.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why another anyway, let me hush. Another set of politics came to mind just now. But
Good morning, Zena.
Mi amor, I'm fine. I am talking to you these days. What it is?
I have sorry for you to peel you.
Thank you very much. Pardon me?
You might be
I
sorry.
got a whole big bag of sorrel. I get okra. I know you like okra.
Well, darling, you get the bag of sorrel from me. I don't know from who, if it's Gemma. But darling, I will be giving you your bottle of sorrel. Get well prepared. But you have to come for it. I'm bringing it.
No problem.
I like the okra to cook for you.
When I come in for the other thing, I'll come for the sorrel.
Yeah. And the okra
and
too.
where you see that businesswoman toys released there from customs, I'm buying a new one for you. A brand new high-powered one. That one you have almost burn out now.
Wendell, he so like the Bakatali call.
Why are you involving me? Why are you calling my name, Miss Lady?
But why the hell he was calling my name? And you wanted Zena.
Mine's still in the packaging. Paul, you want to buy my own? The one I have?
But what experiment you want to do with that, boy?
I can't say it on national radio.
I got to hear that off the air.
Yeah. Come down my rum box the whole weekend.
The one you have wouldn't work for Zena. It's not heavy duty. You had to buy a Black and Decker for Zena, you know.
And you have to use Energizer batteries.
No. The one you have don't use batteries as plug-in. I can't use batteries. Batteries ain't gonna last.
I know somebody who might be able to suggest which is the best one.
I charge up with the big battery. It's wrong there. Otherwise, it's 5 minutes and you're done. Me, bro, that.
I know somebody who might be able to suggest which is the best.
Well, Lincoln this morning. How Lincoln and Jambi this morning?
I know that they have to put it aside right now because they have a party. Anyhow, let me leave it there according to a man in New York. Let's see that.
All right.
So, Paul, how are things in Mount Lambert?
Wonderful.
You
should come and find out.
You knew a man they used to call Spice Marsher.
Spice Marsher? No, that name doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, he was a Cummins to Spice Marsher. The police used to ride a bike.
Name doesn't sound familiar.
All right. You must ask your mother. He used to live in Mount Lambert there, police.
And I'll be interested because?
Spice Marsher. Huh?
You know long I hear them words? You know long I hear them
just
words?
came back and somebody just get cussed. I hear somebody say, ask your mother.
I'm not going to say, I know long me hear them words. Ask your mother.
Ask your mother?
And here was, what I want to know is, and what about the match factory? They closed down a long time.
That went there. Carried by that.
Oh, my aunt used to live there. She used to live
I'll
on.
send phone number for you all. You can have this discussion.
Yeah. Thank you.
Come across the train line.
Yeah, here this morning on radio.
The match factory.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Zena.
All right, gentlemen. You all have a wonderful weekend.
Just jealous.
Morning.
Don't forget my night tonight. Leave the door open.
That
You don't give me a
always
key at all.
That's always open.
Just one thing happens.
Thank you, Zena. Have a good one.
Give me no key.
All right.
All right. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Yeah. I know
I hear my name call. Yeah. It's
What
when
the police
Wendell
do now?
called
What
my
the
name
police do now?
in the
What
news.
the police do now, Lincoln?
It's when Wendell called my name before with the news is what wake me up. So you weren't wrong when you said I was sleeping. I got up last night, was messing around on the phone and went back to sleep and wake up late.
They all do that.
Right? Yeah. But
Lincoln, I could ask you a question.
Well, let me say this first. It's an indictment on your age, Paul, when you say that the big tool is Black & Decker. There's so many more modern tools than Black & Decker, but when somebody calls Black & Decker as a big tool, then you know the prehistoric. But go ahead with your question now, Paul.
First of all, I have no problem with my age. So it's an indictment on my age.
I'm not saying nothing in a bad way.
Use the word indictment, it have a negative connotation. That's the first thing.
No. I don't mean it that way at all.
Secondly, don't say that, Paul. Don't say that. Do not say
What's
that.
the question?
Have you ever had a dream about Earl here with Christopher?
A dream? Why would I dream about Earl here with Christopher?
I don't know. The way you kind of, I thought someone used to have a dream about her.
No, I have no problem. Well, I have a problem with her, but nothing that serious that I would dream about Earl here with Christopher. Let me tell you something. As I was explaining yesterday to a female friend of mine, yes, I may have a discontent for the police.
A what?
But it comes from a place.
What word is that?
The police. A discontent for the police.
A discontent, okay. All right.
Yeah. But it comes from a place of working with them, being around them,
applying for them and
seeing and understanding how unscrupulous they are.
Some of them can be.
Understanding, yes, thanks for the correction. And seeing and understanding how a police officer, if they're in a mood, could mess up an innocent person's entire life.
You're absolutely right.
That they have.
You're absolutely
the power
right.
that they have to do that. And if remained unchecked, could be the roguish element and that is capable of messing up someone's entire life.
That's why I have an issue when the Minister of National Security with us earlier in the week, and he's done it before, tries to conflate civilian committing crime with police committing crime. Civilians do not have the power police have.
To affect other people's lives, and which may sometimes maybe innocent people's lives, who they don't like how they talk to them. The God complex that is having them. When they're dealing with you, you must they like the boss and yes sir and then this and they see the God complex. And if they don't feel you worship them enough, they could affect your life. And to the people who just blatantly supporting like 3 Points and Mr. Martin, who just feel after God is police, and some of the police just say the phrase, after God is police. I would not like them to experience a negative side of the same police, because there could be. I know one particular case that recently was dismissed. The police knew a young man didn't do the crime. He was innocently caught up in a situation, and they still went down the road at charging this young boy, probably 19 years, going to court for 3 years. He was going to court for something that they knew he didn't do.
Yeah,
you understand?
That silliness happens.
Mm-hmm. All right.
You understand?
Yeah,
so I just take the things that they say with a pinch of salt. Yes, Paul.
No, that's Richard.
Richard.
I just wanted to let you know that according to one of the newspapers article in the papers today, they said that HDC says that the Tower 1 will be in time for Christmas. Housing units at Tower 1 of the Edinburgh Towers at Edinburgh 500 in Chaguanas, also known as Alexandra Towers, will be completed in time for Christmas.
2024?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Lincoln.
Okay.
I see it, but it's good to have a deadline. It's good to have a deadline. But it is
Coming.
Yeah, I expected it up before the election.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, Lincoln. Thank you.
He played the arrest. You don't wonder if it's an election gimmick.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Paul. Good morning to Richard, and good morning to Wendell.
Good morning, Ms. David.
You know, Wendell, last night I was watching Law and Order. And guess what? It's similar to what is happening right now with the police service here. But the last two matters, I don't know. I don't think you're watching for your Spain or people cricket. So, so I know you didn't look at it, but you know, it was like when I saw it, I remember when I said he likes to watch Law and Order. It is similar. You know, they don't touch their own.
Nope.
So they commit to that crime. You know, this thing was so real, like good timing. That episode was a good timing for what transpired these last couple of days there. You know, my goodness me. So those movies are not really movies, you know, those are real things that they bring out to people to show that these things do happen. You know?
That's a fact.
So,
that's true.
I listened to the PCA person in charge, Mr. West.
Mr. West, David West.
You know something? I don't feel that they should be investigating or prosecuting these things because I think his officers come from the police service, some of them, right? And they know the former police officers who became attorneys. So, you know, as I was just saying, police is police, is a brotherhood. Right? So let it DPP. I want to ask for something first before that. Paul, the DPP issues the says go ahead to charge, right?
In some cases.
So if the PP said go ahead and charge these police officers, the PSB now was ahead, and they did not assign a prosecutor. Who's supposed to assign the prosecutor? Not the DPP's office?
Yeah.
So how come there was no prosecutor assigned to this matter?
Well, I don't think there was no
prosecutor.
There
was a prosecutor. Eh?
No, in one case, the prosecutor didn't turn up. The prosecutor was assigned, but didn't turn up in one of the cases. And the other case, the evidence wasn't supplied to the prosecutor.
We've got one of them who said that he holding on, so he don't have nothing to say. He had nothing to offer. He just holding on. So that means there wasn't one. I will gather that. So I want to find out something. If there wasn't sufficient evidence, or there was a timeline for evidence to be presented, why was the matter not adjourned to another day?
Because, you know what we don't know? Law states that after a certain amount of time of delays and postponements, adjournments, the master has the right, the legal authority to say you're playing the fool because the people who are charged lives in the balance.
You know, okay, so you know what is happening here? The DPP's office most times are so tardy with matters because look how many people languishing. Isn't that the same thing? That will happen. That president won't be set. I want to think, you know, because
it's a confluence of all kind of things breaking down.
Yeah, is everything breaking down? You're right.
I will believe that's a new precedent that will be set. My matter is for 4 years. Nobody appear, the police ain't appear with the evidence, so, and you have to free them because give all the equal due. Can't be just police officers. Most people now, with the lawyers, of course, will go for that route. And I don't disagree with them. They might be guilty, they might be innocent, but that is their right because if police could get away because of the evidence not forthcoming, they should do everybody that. And I don't like it, but I will have to go abide by it. Before I go, you know, yesterday I saw an incident on the highway. I passed Maloney to come to Davide, my son and I, and we on the highway from Bestcreek going home to Pasture Maloney. there was a police vehicle on the right lane driving real fast. So I say, but and siren on. I say, wait now, how come they on the right lane? Normally they're on the left on the shoulder and so on. So I told my son pull aside. But next thing you know, I saw a black vehicle speeding. So the police was after that vehicle. And of all places, the driver turning was in Maloney, off the highway. Just right past, eh? And I tell my son, I say, here what? Just drop back from a please. Next thing I hear shots firing. I don't want to be shot with no stray bullet. I tell him drop back, don't turn in yet. But by the time he kind of slowed down, yes. And when we watch what's going on, the driver turned into a street, the very first street, that was where the old Maloney police station was. And they crashed.
On the right side.
Yeah, on the right side. They crashed into two vehicles and the police vehicle jammed them. So my son said, the police hold them. So I said, well, let's go fast. By the time we driving up, the two of them, one in the passenger side, one in the back seat, fling open car door and gone running. A policeman after him, running half the speed they're running, eh? I say, see me, let me get in my house. I'm driving up, coming home. On my street now, there's a police vehicle coming down now. I say, get a man space there because he going like 200. You know, he was headed to the scene. And somebody came at me after to pick up something. I say, you see any action in Maloney there? He say, yeah. I see two fellas died on the ground and police there. So I say, well, thankfully, at least two were held. For whatever, I don't know what is the reason, but I'm happy that at least two were held. So I say, I'm glad I wasn't in that mess because they know the light of fire.
Of course, you being the passenger in the car, you have a recording of all this, right? You take out your phone and record it, no?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I don't do them things. I don't want to be so close because I might be a statistic. I try to tell me something. Don't go so fast at all. I don't want to be that close. I don't want people to read the news I gave and my death as well. I don't want to see that. So,
you know your phones have Zoom, right?
I don't care. It can have what? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking that. I'm not in that. Because you don't know what these guys could do. And who's shooting where, and the police shooting and blind bullets to our eyes, you know. So it's all right.
All right.
You all have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Alexa, volume 1.
You need to do that. You need to do that before we answer. Go ahead.
Well, in listening,
I hear you.
Caught by surprise.
All right.
You know?
Steve, the man want to show off you have Alexa. Leave him alone.
Okay, sorry.
To the young lady, to the lady that called just now there, and I must compliment the police, the TTPS, and the execution of the duty. However, when you see the incidents like what happened in St. James, it is disheartening of the lazy way that does do execute some of the duties sometimes, Paul, and they like to be nitpicking on words, right? I'm glad that it didn't turn out too bad. I'm still waiting on the body cam to start to be used more regularly.
Don't hold your breath.
Right? I wouldn't be holding my breath on it. Right? There's a case I talked about yesterday, and I'm trying to get some feedback on it. Wendell, you might be more aware. There was a robbery in St. James or Port of Spain, I believe it was, where some two youth men run in a store and take all the man's clothes. You're familiar with that, Wendell?
No.
I was in Port of Spain.
It was in Port of Spain.
It's right above the office here. A couple of buildings up.
Right. I heard the man send a message to the criminals, at least the two that was caught on video. First, the two questions is this. One, those two men were seen, identified, clear as day on video. And I haven't heard anything from the TTPS, same thing we talked about yesterday, where in glaring cases, feedback to the population is never forthcoming. Have the TTPS arrested those two young men as yet? My first question. Second question. I understand the man sent a threat for them. He said he given them 72 hours to bring back his clothes. Maybe we'll see when they say it's so close. Did the clothes ever come back?
Was that also on video? The threat? Was a video threat or just somebody just says he says?
It's circulated on social media. It's circulated on social media. Because apparently he knew at least he knew the two young, the first two men that came and knocked on his door, who he opened the door for. Right? So I was very well expecting to hear on some news before news or DJ news, two young men bodies found somewhere after the 72 hours. Right? Okay. So I ain't see that. So I wonder if they bring back the girls. Because they literally clear out this man business place, you know.
Nah, I missed that one.
Everything they take from this man business place, you know. They ain't take a jersey for the next concert that coming in. Normally there's one take something for them to wear. They wanted to open a store somewhere else and clean out this. Everything was on the rack. They take it, you know. And I'm saying, as a business person, how is this man going to recover? He might have taken a loan to buy all them investment and to buy all them clothes. How is he going to recover from this? And in the United States, that's shown on TV. Everybody would have support this man business by some what is called thing to raise funds.
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, yes, a GoFundMe, and this man he would have been 10 times better off. But we don't have that kind of system in Trinidad, and I don't even know if we have that kind of compassion in Trinidad to support somebody in a situation like that. But I'm very curious to know if at least one of
I disagree with that.
Is clear. Well,
I remember when Earl Fabian's house was in danger of being.
Why did I know for sure is that case you're going to lose?
Quite a bit of money to help him get out of that situation and many other situations. So don't say we don't have that compassion in Trinidad and Tobago.
I just knew that is the one you were going to refer to, you know.
But I've also seen cases where ordinary citizens have raised funds for surgeries, for scholarships, and other things. So don't say that.
And that is medical thing that people would help for, but not just the average businessman that lost something. I don't know if we had that in us.
Right. Thank you again.
All right then. So maybe you can find out about if the police ever caught those two young men. I would appreciate that.
Then go and apply again.
I think that it's a take him. Arm him and put him inside there. Give him a squad to operate with. And he'll help clean up this place, you know.
Good morning, caller.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good morning.
After Paul Richards, I will handle something for your family. Earlier this year, my daughter was going to school. A taxi driver took up and she reported that he took her to a place where on top of all the passengers, and then he allegedly started making advances to her. A school child I'm talking about.
How old is she?
This year, right? Well, she is 50 now. She's in third form.
Jesus.
That's what I'm saying, That's what I'm saying. As a father, I'm not living with the mother. The mom went to Bedford Street Police Station. And she ended up going to CPU. Nothing never came out of it. I'm talking about earlier this year. Nobody ain't seen nothing. Right? Yesterday now, she walking home. She gets stabbed by a school child. Everybody saying hush hush. Well, the mom went back to street again. They ran out the station. Is this right? What is the police doing? Why isn't the police doing their work? You hear my tone of voice change, eh?
You have a right to have your tone of voice change. This is your child. Two things, sir. You can report it, one, to the Police Complaints Authority, if you think the police have not acted appropriately in terms of pursuing it. Two, to the Children's Authority, because she's still a child, right? She's a minor.
Yeah, she is.
Right? Or three, directly to acting or senior superintendent, not acting, senior superintendent Claire Guy Allen at the Police Victim and Wellness.
She's not there anymore, you know, Paul.
She's not there?
Yeah, she was moved.
She's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But by Monday, I'll find out who the new person is and report it directly to that unit. So you have three avenues of some sort of redress.
And she gets stabbed at the divider. You know the geometry set up a divider.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the two girls are allegedly going to her school. You want saying here, right?
Make a direct report to the Ministry of Education, Chief Education Officer.
So I got up this morning and said, let me call Holly and tell her what was going on. Because, you know, I now see why you
How
take so
is
long.
she?
She's all right because the mom came from the hospital this morning. She was in Mount Hope last night, whole night. And you had to see her. From 4 o'clock yesterday, they're in Mount Hope. Not until this morning, you know. She see a doctor, you know.
I know the feeling.
You know what's on this place?
But that is not the first I've heard of spending many hours to see a doctor at Mount Hope.
Or
Port of Spain or San Fernando.
4 o'clock yesterday evening, you know. Not until this morning, she see a doctor, you know. So my daughter can get dead. Or get killed. Well, you know, how to put it, because what's my worst kind of even come, you know. And I wondering if I'm a Trinidad and Tobago citizen, you know, if I'm living here, you know. This place real?
Yeah.
You want me to tell my voice change, eh?
But I want you to pursue those 3 years I advise you.
Yeah, pursue it, huh?
It shouldn't just stay like that. And I hope your daughter receives some counseling also, because I'm sure she's traumatized by these 2 incidents.
Well, this morning, the school will hear about it, so I will wait to see the outcome.
Okay. All right. Keep us updated.
I still didn't get past the first incident you talk about, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand that.
That's crazy.
It's madness.
It needs to be reported to the police. But if the police not following up on it, report it to the PCA.
Because I'm sure they will
the
identify who the alleged driver is and whatnot. I'm sure that can be difficult. And they have not brought him in for questioning yet?
Exactly. That will.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. Lord, so much thing I get thrown off what I wanted to say. Oh my God, I hope that young lady is okay. And he needs to go to another police station and report that. Can't leave that so. And based on what that gentleman just said about Mount Hope, do you all know St. James Medical is becoming very close, like Mount Hope? Oh my God, listen, they need to do something. This, which, as explained as Sam, we just can't go on this way. Anyway, let me start what I wanted to say while I was listening. Steve Khan, I remember you had stopped calling Evie the big bad wolf. I saw your store.
Yeah, I didn't call her that a while, huh?
Yes, it don't sound good. Oh God, don't call it.
And that's a little private joke between Evie and myself.
I know, but it just come off cross, you know, when you see her, you say, nah, this lady can't be no big bad wolf. Anyway.
That's my point. Anyway, go ahead.
Right? Okay. And now I want to tell Lincoln, if you have been listening to me on this radio station and other, you will know I know after God is police. So catch yourself, right? When the
catch yourself.
When the police do good, I praise them. And when they do crap, I just rest it on them. So don't come with that nonsense.
Did he say you said that?
What else? Yeah, he said, Miss Digo Martin, after God is police. Will he get that from? He listening to distant voices? No, not me.
I didn't hear his referencing. My apologies.
Wrong number.
I would have stopped him. I didn't hear that referencing.
He said Miss Digo Martin and some others. Yes, he did.
Miss Digo Martin, no. I say I have to take him up on that because I just late on them because right now, let me tell you something. The police looking bad.
Steve,
and I
bring up Lincoln and your fingers cramping to call back now.
Too many, let me tell you, too many. I lose my thought so much weight coming back. Too many past commissioner of police allowed police officers who have matters in court not appearing. And they are the ones cause a lot of cases to go on 10 years and 5 years. Could you all remember that Shannon Bansfield murder trial? Well, I don't know where the case reached right now because I think the guy who they arrested in prison waiting 8 years now. When that, well, at that time they had preliminary inquiry. When that first, when they first went to court, and never forget, Officer Dick was the investigating officer. When he go before the magistrate, you know what he said to her? Ma'am, I don't have the file. Imagine you going to court and you have the file. When she asked him, where the file is, it's still by the DPP. Come to Judge Judy. Where you think you was going by the beach? Nah. The magistrate postponed the matter to another day. You know, the second time that officer appeared before the magistrate, the same magistrate, because I was reading the case. You know, he tell the magistrate, all the witnesses were not served. I said, Jesus Christ. I said, nah, this not happening. And this is madness. So I want to say to Earl Christopher, get cracking, you know. Deal with these officers because they cannot be doing what's going on here, what we hear. And I'm still trying to understand. I don't know why it is so difficult to get the facts and get what's going on in this country. Was it a police prosecutor or was it a prosecutor from the DPP's office? That is not clear with me.
No, it's not clear. You're very right, Ms. Diego Martin. It's not clear. Yes, even when I asked Minister Hines yesterday, it's not clear.
It's not clear. And why? That is why we're in this hot mess. We just never get the evidence, the information correct. Why? I went, Keith Scotland was there the other morning. I think I heard him talking about but I don't want to say he said it, but it is not, I don't know if it's Yolala. It is not right to have a police case and you have a police prosecutor.
Yes.
That is conflict of interest.
Yes.
So
but Ms. Diego Martin, even if it's not a police prosecutor, is police supposed to provide the evidence to the DPP prosecutor?
Correct is right.
But Paul, if it is an issue, it was very clear. It was very clear from David West that when police are prosecuting police, because he was a prosecutor before, the DPP deals with the issue.
Yes, he did.
It is incumbent on the DPP's office to issue or hold a press conference on the issue.
Good luck.
This reticence to come before the media and indicate X, Y, and Z is counterproductive in 2024. That could have worked in the 80s and 90s. In this modern information age where information is ready at your fingertips.
There's some agencies.
If you don't want to do it, then hire a communications department.
There's some agencies and agency heads who don't feel they're accountable to the public.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Have a
Thank you.
to relate information if need be.
You too.
But I will end with this. We just can't go on this way. Have a blessed weekend.
Well, we're going on just so. Just so we're going on. Year after year after year after year. Just so we're going on. Nothing is going to change. Not in our lifetime, that is.
Say that again. Good morning, caller.
I don't agree with that. I think things can change.
Good morning again, Mr. Martin. Good morning. You know, I'm trying to wonder, Trinidad and Tobago, for such a small twin island state, why we have so much crime? You know, I'm trying to wonder how we reach here. What is we too damn happy? It had too much money in the country. It had too much. What it is? I don't understand what happened to the upbringing of children now into young men and women. What happened? Where that gone? For a small country, it's too many cases for the court. From murder come down. What going on? We too small for this, and for a country so small, we should be a happy people with so many resources around, and life is nice in this part of the world. Oh God, Jesus Christ! Sometimes these people in this country need the experience to ship out the country sometimes to Afghanistan and Palestine and them places for people to understand what war and starvation is. People
and you know what? And you know what, Zina?
Two extreme examples in comparison.
And you know what, Zina? There are a lot of people who feel changing the government would help, and then you go back into which minister. Just let me finish. Which minister grabbed this one? Which minister probed this one? Which minister hit this one? Which minister in wherever room smoking, wherever.
There's an early ad for 2025 or what?
Yes.
It will not happen. It will not happen. What will happen will be just like what happened before.
Which minister have money in the trunk of the car? Which minister thief
I can't hear both of you all at the same time. Yes, go ahead.
I say, what will happen if government were to change this? What will happen before we see it? Lock up 8,000 of them and throw them somewhere and tell them you're going to find a charge, and now they're reaping money from the government for false imprisonment. What will happen? Nothing will happen. Because if people want to get back their cry and say if they fail, blood will flow in the streets. I don't know what is going on here. I keep saying again, this country needs a blessing.
Prayers, we need prayers.
The helicopter had to fly over and sprinkle some holy water on this land. Shucks, man. People only behave all their damn self now. Oh, gosh. Thank you.
Prayers.
Don't worry, I charge you a tip. You go get some relief later.
A pastor put a licking on me last night. The man tell me, yeah, if you're the man so lucky when he bat in, as then after he tell me, he confide to me, yeah, I'm a pastor, my prayers are working tonight. Morning, Pastor Ed. I can't remember his first name, but his surname is Ed. The man say he's 69. The man look like he reached 50 years, and he say he's 69. I say, whoa.
The power of prayer, boy.
Clearly the power of prayer. Clearly the power of prayer.
222-8255 North Americans, a toll-free number for you. 866-525-1099. All right? You taking your calls? It's 12 minutes before the hour of 8 o'clock.
Yep.
So we're still taking your calls on this Friday morning.
We waiting on Lincoln to call back and apologize.
As the weekend is now here. The weekend has begun.
What are your plans for this weekend, Richie?
I don't know. I'm going to engage in I don't know what I'm going to do. Actually, I have stuff to do. I have some events to go to. So I don't know.
Well, I'm by Rumbox entire day today and tomorrow.
You don't have cricket tonight?
No, I don't have cricket tonight. There's a party and some kind of event at the Oval, I think, tonight. There is cricket, coming to think of it, but I think there's a party too, either tonight or tomorrow. But no, my team doesn't have a match tonight. We have 2 matches on Monday. But I'll be at Rumbox for the entire day today and tomorrow. God willing. So feel free to drop in. Spend some of your money now. When you buy your Christmas stocks yet?
Christmas, nice. I did Christmas, yeah.
Paul, you could come and get your stocks. A Prosecco and thing. I know you like them big shot thing.
Big shot thing for a big shot man.
You have no idea what I like.
But you shop by Rumbox already. I must know what you like.
Yeah.
Because I shopped there on one occasion doesn't mean you know what I like.
Big shot things for a big shot man.
Yeah,
he stands tall. His name is
Look what difference was you went in Amsterdam. You buy anything?
Big shot things for a big shot man.
Confusion you like, yes?
We have it all.
Don't worry. From what I hear, a lot of your friends will have more disposable income soon.
Who is that? Oh, but they ain't gonna come and spend it by me,
I don't know where they will spend it. A lot of your friends will have a lot more disposable income soon.
And you gonna have more disposable income too?
A lot of your friends.
All right, we have a call. Good morning.
Disposable income soon.
I just hope I get a little back pay from it.
Your sales will go up. It's Christmas.
I was on a phone call and I ended the call just in time to hear Wendell said that we still need to call and apologize. What am I to apologize for?
To Ms. Digger Martin.
What did she say? I was on a phone call. I didn't hear what she said.
It's not what she says, what you say.
What did I say?
Earlier on, you referred to Ms. Digger Martin apparently saying that she does always say after God is police. She says she does.
No, no. I said they act like after God is police. She never said that. I would never say the woman say something that I never hear her say.
Okay.
I said
I didn't hear it,
like
but
after God is police.
yeah. Okay.
Right?
So you're not apologizing.
I never. There's nothing for me to apologize for. I never said that the woman said that.
No problem.
I did not make a
Lincoln, send Steve your email address.
Well, all right. But to answer
people need to know what you look like.
Richard, I was on all your program. I used to do a live thing on a Friday. What do you mean what I look like?
Come on.
You used to have pink hair, a pink mohawk them days.
He's the one who's driving taxi in New York?
No. Anyway, but Paul, you know what I really do have a passion for? I really and a P for, and I feel I would be a good asset in that department. I would really love to be a traffic police. You understand? I see too many infractions on the road going on, and I often wonder where's the police on the road.
Lincoln, I don't think you have the temperament to be any kind of
Let me give you a scenario. Let me give you a scenario. My daughter and I were driving from Chaguanas to San Fernando, and we just fooling around. And I made her a bet. I said, "Here, what's going on? I'll give you $100, but I could bet you from Chaguanas to San Fernando, we would see no less than 75 traffic infractions." And my 20-year-old daughter was pointing out broken taillight, no identification light, this, that, the other, defective tire. We driving from Chaguanas to San Fernando and spotted 75 traffic infractions from just a drive from San Fernando from Chaguanas to San Fernando.
I can mind your business.
Don't see these things on a daily basis. I'm not saying ticket everybody. I'm just saying if police just do this minor traffic stop and search or stop and give a warning, they might come upon a lot more guns, a lot more offenses, a lot more wanted people if they start with these simple traffic stops.
Lincoln, I have a project for you.
Go ahead.
For the weekend, I want you to look every time you see a police vehicle and you see police officers inside, check to see if they're on the phone.
On the phone. I don't have to do that.
I've been doing that. I've been doing that for week before, since week before. Every officer while they're driving, instead of looking out, they're on the phone.
Let me tell you something, Steve. When Richard is, Paul is often say that when I make a statement that they don't see a police from Arima to Port of Spain, you don't see, or Arima to San Trisha, you don't see a police on the highway on a Sunday especially. He does always say he begs to differ and whatnot. But when there are police in the vehicle at certain points, you could pass that vehicle at 200 kilometers an hour, and it makes no difference to that police that is there on a static patrol. You could be driving in and out, zigzagging. You could be doing what? That police vehicle don't move from there. So it being there and not being there is the same goddamn thing.
It's called a static patrol. They dare to respond if someone is escaping or something. Them ain't running down nobody who's driving fast.
You could be breaking the speed limit. You could be doing all the. Somebody could be in a car.
They're not there for that. They're not there
for
that.
Out the window ball and help. Them head down in a phone in the phone, not paying due diligence and attention. So this purpose is useless. I tell you.
Mind your business.
I look at one thing that I agreed with. Who controls the streets controls the crime.
I can mind your business, Lincoln.
It just fell on deaf ears. Go ahead, Paul.
Can I mind your business?
Go ahead, Paul.
Are you still close to your daughter's mother?
What? No, we don't speak. Why? That question come from?
Yeah, I understand where that question come from.
I don't know where that come from.
It's part of my ongoing psychological analysis of you.
Lincoln, he's trying to get in your head. Don't take him on.
It's part of my ongoing psychological
analysis. Get in my head. What can get in my head, you mad?
Lincoln, let me make something absolutely clear.
Uh-huh.
I have absolutely no interest of getting in your head.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be there with all them ghosts and zombie and skeleton. You are a real ghost and zombie and skeleton, and I don't want to share that space with them at all. They'll crowd right now.
Paul, I want to meet you somewhere. And I have a question to ask you about it, but
I don't want to meet you somewhere. That's the difference. I don't want to meet you anywhere.
When there's no question I want to ask you.
What's the question you want to ask me?
Nah, I can't ask you. I want to meet you somewhere.
Well, you can meet by I give you full permission to ask me now.
No, because I can't ask you now. But I want to meet you somewhere. I'm saying in Price Mart a couple of years ago, Price Mart Shoguners.
Why didn't ask me then?
No, I didn't know you did that as I do now, so I couldn't answer that question now. Then.
So because you have a relationship, you can ask me because you call and harass me every morning. But let me tell you, we appreciate your call. Don't get tired. With all the joke aside, we appreciate all the callers and your comments.
I appreciate that.
You all add to the show in a way we could never not appreciate.
And I made a comment a long time ago, and it fall on deaf ears. Or them actually Papi Showman for making a comment. But I stand by that statement. I would love to hear other callers, we open the frequency for new callers. It's the same set of people that call this show every day, including myself.
But maybe if they get a chance to call you, will hear them.
Do have a Lincoln? You just described every single talk show. All talk shows are a bunch of people. Darian have about 6. Dale and Tony have about 8.
Right.
All the shows have about the same.
Not everybody wants to call.
You're absolutely right. So
all talk shows are the same.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody has an unlimited plan like you.
Not everybody have Alexa.
If you don't have an unlimited plan on your phone, to call these radio stations, you're doomed. One time a phone cut and I tried with a prepaid phone with a prepaid phone. Oh my God, that thing has eat up your money.
Michael Granderson said Paul brave to give permission to have the question asked. And Michael Granderson, I've been in media for near 40 years, and I've been asked every possible thing, and I've answered for you. And me ask me.
Oh, you old boy.
How long in media?
I started when I was 5.
Oh God, you old boy.
You all have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Show somebody love. It's Christmas in the air. Be careful when you park your car in the mall car park.
Yep.
And do something kind for somebody this weekend.
If you want that black sorrel, better to buy during the week. During the week, it's £7 for $25. £27 for $25.
Yes, that's true.
Weekend it drops to like £4.
Yeah, $4 and $5 or 25.
Get it during the week. I learned that lesson, and I got it during the week. £7 to $25. You're good to go.
I will wait till when all you make the sorrel and drink it. Bye, guys. Have an absolutely wonderful weekend. Be careful on the roads. Look out for the children, and remember to let go and let God. Bye-bye.
Yes, have a fantastic. The weekend has begun. People, put a smile on your face wherever you are, and no matter what you're going through, try to laugh and smile. It's great for your health. See the better side of things, even in all of the darkness. Have a great one. Be optimistic. Live your life.
All right, gentlemen, speak with you guys bright and early come Monday morning. Of course, today is Friday, so Dr. Gooding of Pet Oasis, you can follow them on Facebook, will be at the Pet Butler. He's our in-house veterinarian. You have to call 610-8725 or WhatsApp 710-8725 to make an appointment. All right, let's get into our 8 o'clock news brief. AV is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
This is your news update to 8 o'clock. I'm Afril Centil Bob. Good morning. The Police Complaints Authority has stepped in and is investigating circumstances leading to police failing to follow repeated instructions from the courts to prosecute 2 high-profile extortion matters. These failures resulted in court cases collapsing and 12 policemen walking free. Speaking on the Power Breakfast Show this morning, PCA Director David West said that following their investigations, recommendations will be made to the DPP and the Police Commissioner. Commissioner of Police Earl Hayward Christopher is reviewing a preliminary report on the dismissal of corruption charges against 7 police officers, vowing swift action as public outcry mounts over what many have described as a systemic failure in law enforcement and the justice system. Former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith claims there were proper guidelines in place regarding police officers and their duties relating to court appearances and backup measures that were in place should officers not be able to attend court matters. A stockyard owner was kidnapped in Chaguanas yesterday afternoon, minutes after he arrived to deliver a load of sand for a customer. Police said Shashi Anand Rampasad was taken by 2 masked armed men around 2 p.m. who bundled him into a car at Pierce Street, Alendo Village Enterprise. And police investigations continue into the kidnapping and murder of a pensioner. 69-year-old Winston Thomas was jolted out of his sleep by intruders in his home, beaten, robbed, and kidnapped. Hours later, he was found dead in his car along the busy Sir Solomon Huchoy Highway. The pensioner was stabbed in the head by men who police described as Spanish-speaking suspects. Well, that was your update to 8 o'clock. Look out for news in full at 12 noon.